of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough.
This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
PTN, you're doing the right thing.
On the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
PPN on your bumper.
I'm Tom McDonald. This is the Patriot Prayers Network. Check it out. Lots of good TV. Lots of cool people. Tune in. Keep it locked.
I'm the white boy with the middle fingers in the air, dog. We don't give a what. 100 white boys gonna hold me down anywhere, dog. We think that you suck. My Patriots, the craziest. They ain't afraid of breaking fists on faces. If you really wanna taste of this, no safety tip. The same mistake and spray the clip. I pray you miss, cause if you don't, they gon' go wacko. Automatic gun smoke like tobacco. Never hit a lady, but it's pretty hard to tell if you're a girl or a they, them. There's these, that, those. I ain't never gonna take a knee for the anthem. Smack them. I don't give a damn, can't stand them. Gang full of randoms. Fan with a handgun. Run up in your mansion, leave it all abandoned. I was raised to be brave to the grave. United States, we love the country that they've been corrupting. Go woke and go broker if you ain't obeyed. My people love this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is American flags. American flags. American flags. And every time we pull up, all you...
What's going on, Patriots? We're going to cover a few stories today, and we're asking the question: has Israel staged a false flag event? And we're going to be covering the Biden appointee that stole $650,000 brazenly, just depositing the money directly into her own account. And we're going to cover these things in detail. We're going to go into depth why we're asking the question about whether or not Israel has staged a false flag event in their country. And we're going to go in depth about that and show you exactly why we're asking that question right after these messages.
Welcome to Shop with America, where the emphasis is on America. Our movement is to switch away from your shopping with the big box stores and the mega corporations back to supporting family-owned, made in America. We've been giving these big box stores our money every day for years. But what's happened is they forced many small businesses to shut down. We call this the illusion of choice. We see all these products in these stores, but in reality, it's only a few companies that control it all. There are thousands of lawsuits for health damage because they put profit over our people. But there is another choice. We found a better way. There's a family-owned American factory with product integrity and have always done things the right way for the right reasons. And this company outperforms the big box stores. That's due to their month-to-month shopping club. They make everyday consumer products that we all use and buy again and again, like toothpaste, shampoo, coffee, and organic beef. Go to shopwithamerica.us today.
So go over to shopwithamerica.us, that drop-down menu right there, and tell them the Patriot Prayer Network sent you. If you're really America First, should be no problem. We're not asking you to buy things that you don't already buy: dish powder, detergent, soap, whatever the case may be, toothpaste. We're just asking that you buy it from an American-made, American-sourced company. Guys, we're going to dive right into this, and this is probably one of those stories where you just wonder exactly what the hell the person was thinking. So you're really not going to believe this one as we get into the details of it. So a senior budget analyst for the State Department named Levita Almuet Ferrer. She's a 64-year-old woman from Maryland. She just pleaded guilty to stealing over $650,000 from the agency she worked for. You heard right, $650,000 while holding a position of trust in the office of the chief of protocol. Between 2022 and April of 2024, she abused her signature authority. She literally wrote checks to herself and 3 other persons that she was personally involved with. How much did she pocket? Prosecutors say she took over $650,000, $347.50. And this wasn't some rookie. This wasn't just somebody who didn't know what she was doing. So what she, this wasn't some just kind of, lamestream operation. Like, I didn't know it was an accident. You can't claim any of that. She printed the checks, signed them, and dumped them straight into her own personal account. She did this to cover her tracks, right? No, I mean, how can you cover your tracks when you're depositing the checks directly into your own account? This is what we're saying, guys. This is exactly what we're talking about. It's not going to get any better from here. It's I mean, just think to yourself, like, I'm trying to get away with something. I'm going to try to hide my tracks. No, I'm just going to deposit the checks right into my account. She'd enter her name as the payee, right? She'd print the checks, but later go back and change the digital records to make it look like the checks went to some type of a real estate department or vendors. It was straight up fraud and hard to catch at first glance, right? Now, she's pled guilty to theft of government property and faces up to 10 years in prison when she's sentenced in September the 18th. Now, once again, there are other examples of deep corruption that run inside every institution that are supposed to serve us, and how easily it's hidden when no one's watching. I mean, in this case, you got to ask yourself, was she just thinking that the other administration was going to get in? Kamala was going to get elected? And if so, she probably didn't even believe that they would even look at all. Like, they wouldn't even bother to go look for the money if that were the case. I mean, that would have to be what I believe in this situation. Like, she wouldn't even go, no one would even go looking for it, so she thinks she just skate. I mean, what other excuse can you possibly give? Now, the problem I have with that is that a regular American citizen, you and I, John Q. Citizen, if we were to steal that kind of money from a government agency, we would not get to be home with our families until our sentencing dates. We would be in jail awaiting our sentencing, held without bond. And that's exactly what should happen to her. See, even in all of the victories that we're getting here with Doge, these short-term victories and whatnot, there's a lot of situations where these people are not treated like you and I. And so although we celebrate these little victories, it's not something that someone who's ever been through the system would look at and say, oh, that's fair. Even still, she should not be home right now watching TV or doing whatever the hell she's doing. She should be in jail, awaiting her sentencing the way a normal citizen would. Now, on to other things. So there was an attack today on Israel, right? They were supposedly the Houthis shot a missile and hit an airport in the middle of Israel. Now, the reason why we ask, was this a false flag event? We're going to take you through it. But first, let's take a look at the actual attack. Right, so you can see there are people in the airport running. You saw the previous clip where you saw the missile actually hit. And these people are running for their lives. They don't know what's going on. They're regular citizens. And here you see a man, he's in an airport. He started to sing a song and dance or do whatever he was doing in the background. As you see there, the smoke rising from the impact. Now, the reason that I'm asking, was this a false flag event? Did Israel just execute a false flag operation on its own country? Now, I don't ask that lightly because, guys, I'm as conservative as they come. I believe that we should support Israel. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And when there are questions to be asked, we are going to ask them. So what you're looking at right there is a map of the area, and you can see each of these areas where we have people in the United States military, where they're staged at. And you can see they're staged here all along the Red Sea. And there are several other outposts. Now, this country that is between Israel and where the Houthis would have shot that missile from is Saudi Arabia. And let's not forget Israel's Iron Dome. So here's where the Houthis would have actually shot that from, outside of Yemen. That would have crossed Saudi Arabia. It would have been in sight of the Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, several military carriers that are staged here along the Red Sea, United States military, as well as on the other side of Gaza, who would have all detected this missile along with Israel's Iron Dome. So why didn't the Iron Dome pick this missile up? Why didn't it shoot this missile down? You saw the barrage of attacks that was shot from Iran earlier this year, hundreds of missiles that were fired, and none of them seemed to get through that Iron Dome. In past events, it's been called impenetrable in some cases, right? So what is the Iron Dome? We ask the question. Let's examine what this thing is. Let's take a look at a real short video.
Iron Dome
Let's take a look.
is Israel's missile defense system with the aim of countering the increasing threat of short-range rocket attacks from neighboring territories, particularly the Gaza Strip. The need for such a system became evident during conflicts like the Second Lebanon War in 2006 and Operation Cast Lead in 2008 to 2009, where Israeli civilians were targeted by rocket fire from Hamas and other militant groups. Following these conflicts, the Israeli government accelerated efforts to develop a solution capable of intercepting and neutralizing these short-range rockets. The Iron Dome project began in...
I want to right there pause for a second, because you got to understand they developed this system to intercept rockets shot from like Gaza by Hamas. And this missile came from on the other side of Saudi Arabia. So this wasn't a short little trip. I mean, they had plenty of time to pick this rocket up by radar and whatever other system here. So keep that in mind as he's telling you how the system functions, what it is.
2007, with funding from the Israeli government and financial support from the United States. The system was developed in collaboration with several Israeli defense companies, including Rafael Advanced Defense Systems and Israel Aerospace Industries. After years of development and testing, the Iron Dome became operational in March 2011, initially deployed near the southern Israeli city of Beersheba. It was gradually expanded to other areas vulnerable to rocket attacks, including communities near the Gaza border and cities within range of rockets fired from Lebanon. Since its deployment, the Iron Dome has undergone continuous upgrades and improvements to enhance its capabilities and address evolving threats. These upgrades have included improvements to radar systems, interceptor missiles, and overall system efficiency. Now let's look at how Israel's missile defense system works, which includes the Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow systems. The first part is detection and tracking. The Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow systems rely on a network of radar stations to detect and track incoming threats. Each system has its own radar capabilities, allowing for comprehensive coverage of Israeli airspace. The second part is threat assessment. Once a threat is detected, the data is analyzed by a central command center.
So there are at least 3 different detection systems. Several U.S. military outposts in the area that have their own detection systems. Saudi Arabia, its detection systems.
The threat is assessed based on its trajectory, speed, and potential impact areas. The third part is interception. Depending on the type and range of the threat, the appropriate defense system is activated. The Iron Dome is designed to intercept short-range rockets and artillery shells. The Iron Dome fires interceptor missiles to destroy incoming threats in midair.
So it has to do it in a shorter period of time because it's readying itself for an attack from Gaza, right on its border. So ask yourself how this missile got from where it was here, all the way up into the top part of that map, right there where you see Israel and Gaza. Ask yourself how it traversed that entire area and no one saw it, no one detected it, no one reacted.
Handles medium to long-range threats, including ballistic and cruise missiles. It launches interceptor missiles equipped with advanced guidance systems to intercept and neutralize the incoming threats. Lastly, Arrow Systems Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 are systems designed to intercept ballistic missiles outside the Earth's atmosphere. They launch interceptor missiles to destroy incoming threats before they reach their targets. The final part is coordination. The different defense systems are integrated into a unified command and control network, allowing for real-time communication and coordination. This ensures that threats are effectively intercepted and neutralized with minimal delay. Lastly, let's look at recent activity with the Iron Dome. Around midnight...
Well, we don't need to go into all that. We can actually hear. What I'll do is I'll show you a picture of the Iron Dome and a video of the Iron Dome in action earlier this year when Israel fired close to 200 missiles. Iran fired close to 200 missiles at Israel. And let's take a look at the Iron Dome in action. So what you're seeing, there are multiple missiles here coming into Israeli airspace, and none of them are getting through this barrage of their defense network with the Iron Dome. And once again, I'm going to say this again. You got to consider the fact that there were also U.S. military outposts, the Iron Dome, Saudi Arabia, and multiple other detection systems from various countries, I assume. So how is it that it was able to get through every one of those detection systems and be able to strike Israel, the inner sanctum of Israel, right by an airport? And I say this on the heels of Israel wanting to seemingly kick up tensions between Iran and Israel. They try to pull the United States into a war with Israel, and I don't think a war is smart. I'll just be honest. I don't like how Iran has brazenly done the things that it has done as of within the last year or so, openly admitting to helping plan the October 7 attacks. There are a lot of things that they have done that just infuriate most Americans, and they are an occupying force in their own country. The Islamic Republic is not a friend to the Iranian people. That is a fact, and so you can't criticize them. They often execute their own citizens for expressing themselves however they want against whatever regime is in power, whether it be Ahmadinejad, the Ayatollah, the king. It doesn't matter. These people are living under constant threat. Americans many times have gone over to this country to visit home. Maybe they're originally Iranians and they go back to visit family, and next thing you know, they're caught up, taken into custody, and held. This has happened time and time again. And there's no shortage of Iranians taking Americans hostage like they did in international waters under the Obama regime, taking in 10 sailors from international waters and holding them hostage. You remember the Obama administration sent over pallets of money after that and said that it wasn't a payoff to a ransom payoff to get the Americans back. However, we all know better. But the question is, now that all this is happened and this missile attack has fell inside of Israeli territory, is now how are they going to respond? And because the Houthis are backed by Iran, this is a beeline for Israel straight to Iran. This is a line straight to Iran. I'm sure Iran is going to say they were behind this if they claim responsibility at all. Was it a false flag? There are so many questions right now, that ones that we just don't know. But I have a very hard time believing that Israel's defense system, as well as Saudi Arabia's and the U.S. military, allowed this missile to traverse the entire country of Saudi Arabia and make it to enter Israel. and strike right next to an airport without any of their systems being triggered at all. So, guys, we're going to see what happens, but the next couple of days and weeks are going to be very tense. Going to be very tense. And with Trump's visit to the Middle East coming up as well, it's definitely one of those things that we're going to want to keep your finger on the pulse of. That is for sure. Outside of that, guys, look, we're gaining traction every day. Also, China is being dealt with as they should be dealt with by Trump, not coming to the table until they agree to his terms instead of the other way around, allowing them to set the terms for a meeting. They have 16 million workers in China that are, a lot of them, some are threatening suicide. They haven't been paid since January. Their manufacturing is falling off the face of the earth. They're not able to sustain. And so there is an uprising in China, and Xi is actually being, attacked from all sides, even within his own regime as a result of this tariff war. So Trump is definitely holding the cards. The question becomes that if this does become an all-out war between Israel and Iran, will the United States get involved? And if so, does that trigger China? Does that trigger Russia? And in light of all these other issues with tariffs and the Ukrainian war, what does that look like? I mean, will they actually take a chance on getting involved in a war when they know the United States is basically crippling them financially? Will they take the chance knowing that this could hurt them even worse financially, and it would cut any chances for any type of reconciliation off, and there would be no meeting, there would be no agreement whatsoever between our countries if that took place? I mean, we got people in a very vicarious position at a time in history that, like, we have never seen ever before, guys. So definitely, if you are someone who prays like I am, you might want to do that, because if this does turn into an all-out war, it's not going to be pretty for anyone. It's really not. They say there are many sleeper cells inside of this country that were sent here from Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the Homeland Security Office verifies that. In fact, Pam Bondi has spoke about that from time to time, as well as Kash Patel. So, I mean, what does this look like in the long run? We can only hope for peace. That is the only true way forward. That is the best way forward, is peace. It's peace, the return of the U.S. dollar and manufacturing, getting these tariff wars over, and bringing our country back into line with our heritage, our values, and our principles. And it seems like the left, more and more often, they're willing to stand up for anything that's not American. So who knows what position they'll take on this topic. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And as usual, the silent majority, you need to stop being silent and stand your ground. Evil will never retreat willingly. It must, in every instance, be beaten back. Thank you for watching the Patriot Prayer Podcast, and we will be seeing you very soon with another broadcast, and we'll be getting this thing back on track, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you soon.
My people of this country, and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough.
This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
PTN, you're doing the right thing.
On the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
PPN on your bumper.
I'm Tom McDonald. This is the Patriot Prayers Network. Check it out. Lots of good TV. Lots of cool people. Tune in. Keep it locked.
Know where I stand. I'm the white boy with the middle fingers in the air, dog. We don't give a what. 100 white boys gonna hold me down anywhere, dog. We think that you suck. My Patriots the craziest. They ain't afraid of breaking fists on faces. If you really wanna taste of this, no safety tip. The same mistake and spray the clip. I pray you miss, cause if you don't, they gon' go wacko. Automatic gun smoke like tobacco. Never hit a lady, but it's pretty hard to tell if you're a girl or a they, them. There's these that goes. I ain't never gonna take a knee for the anthem. Smack them. I don't give a damn, can't stand them. Gang full of randoms. Fan with a handgun. Run up in your mansion, leave it all abandoned. I was raised to be brave to the grave. United States, we love the country that they've been corrupting. Go woke and go broker if you ain't obeyed. My people of this country, and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna